mess it. I'll just like edit the video. Okay, good morning, class. How was your guys' weekend yesterday? Did you have a good Easter?
It was really good.
I went on a Easter egg hunt.
Ooh, did you find a lot of eggs and candy?
Did you get a snow globe? I didn't.
Yeah, did you make a snow globe, Sean?
Yeah, my mom and I.
With your mom?
Yeah.
It's not winter anymore, Sean.
Yeah, it's getting close to
No,
spring
there's
time.
all seasons.
Gotta bust out the spring snow globes.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we will be reading the book Harriet, Tubman, The Underground Railroad by Emma Rose. This is kind of like leading off of our little Civil War thing we did in social studies yesterday. So after this lesson, you guys are going to be able to take like 3 to 5 clues, and they're going to help you make an inference, which is basically like proving your answer. So I got a few terms here that are going to help you guys out throughout the lesson. Have any of you guys ever heard of the North Star before? Or does anybody know what it is? Anybody?
It's a star that points to the north.
You're right, Sean. It is a star that points to the north. How about bravery? You guys ever heard of bravery? You guys like to consider yourself brave? Depends on how you think.
Sometimes.
Yeah, me too. How about determination?
Firmness of purpose.
Yeah, that is. Wow, that's a very good definition. Holy crap. You guys ever heard of a Quaker? So not like the oatmeal Quaker.
Yeah,
You
it's
know-
like a type of religion.
Yeah, you're right. It is a religion, like a very kind of older religion. It's not around too much anymore. An inference. Have you ever heard of that before at all? That might be a new one for you guys. Oh, Shannon, you did?
Yeah. It's like something that you come to like a conclusion that you base off of like clues.
Yeah, that's very good. That's actually perfect. And lastly, you guys ever heard of slavery? You guys know what a slave is. That's probably a pretty common one you guys have heard, especially from our thing yesterday. You know what it is, Jalen?
Yeah, it's someone who's owned by someone else.
Yeah,
So, like, do a
exactly.
lot of work.
Not a very good thing, is it? No, so okay, so here are the actual definitions. I'll just read off you guys. So a slave is a person who is legal property of another and is focused to obey them, or forced to obey them too. The star, North Star, is a star that just pointed towards the general direction of north. Bravery is being ready to face and endure danger or pain. Determination is the firmness of purpose, which is exactly what you said. That's very good. A Quaker is a member of a historically Christian group of religious movements. And an inference is a conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning. So like kind of proving your guys' answer. Do you guys have any questions on those terms at all? So we'll be seeing those quite a bit today in the story. No? So this is what we'll be using today to sort our thoughts out and get our answer. It's called an Infer-O-Graph. So if you guys see up here, it's going to have like 3 different parts or 4 different parts. It's going to have your main question, and then you're going to have 1 clue, 2 clues, and 3 clues. And those 3 clues will back up your inference, or else you guys can say your answer too. It's an easier way to put it. And this will just like organize your guys' thoughts and make it easier to prove your point. All right, so have you guys ever heard of Harriet Tubman at all? You guys have? In the Underground Railroad too?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about Harriet Tubman? Do you know what she did at all? Did she help people? Did she,
She led people to safety.
yeah, you're right, she did. She actually led a lot of slaves up to the free north.
Did
So,
she
yeah.
have trains on the railroad?
Oh, very good question. It's actually, no, there was no trains on there. It was kind of just like a path like a train track. So like you can kind of think of those two as a comparison. But this is a portrait of a younger Harriet Tubman. It's not an actual photo. It's kind of like what she possibly would have looked like. So who is Harriet Tubman and what is the Underground Railroad? So Harriet Tubman was an escaped slave who became the conductor on the Underground Railroad, which led slaves to the free north. So kind of exactly what you said there. Conductor is another like word for like the leader kind of. But since they use the railroad term, they use conductor too. And then the Underground Railroad was a secret network of houses and routes established in the United States during the mid-19th century. And it was used by African American slaves to escape into free states, Canada, and like Nova Scotia. So basically anywhere where like slavery was abolished and not around anymore. And they were actually, along with Harriet Tubman, there was a Quaker who was an ally that kind of helped them out and like get the path going and get to those safe houses. So for like an example here, I'm going to complete one of the Infer-O-Graphs for you guys, because we're going to be using those while we read our story today, the one by Emma Rose. So I'm going to do this one for you guys. You guys just want to pay attention. That way you guys kind of get like a little basis of how to do it. So as you see, the question is like, what is the Underground Railroad? So now we have to find 3 clues from like a paragraph or a story that is going to lead us to our answer or else our inference here. So if we just go back, since the question is what is the Underground Railroad, we see a few things here. So I see that the Underground Railroad was led by a Quaker and Harriet Tubman. So that's one of the clues that I would use. Just right over here in clue number 1. So it's led by Tubman and a Quaker. Now if we go back over and look at the paragraph again, find some more information for clue number 2. It says it is a secret network of houses, and I know that's really important because these guys were trying to stay away from the bad people, so it all had to be kind of a secret for them. So another one of these you could put is like a very secret route. And then we'll find one more clue because 3 is always good to back up your point. And let's say, what did Underground Railroad do? It led slaves up to the free north, so we'll put that as our 3rd clue.
Mr. Jan,
Yeah.
what's a route?
A route is like another word for a path or like a trail, just like a direction that you take. You follow it all the way through. You can't really veer off of it too much otherwise. So think of it as like a road. A road is a route. So led slaves to the free north. And then to get our inference, or as another word, it's like our answer, all we do basically is just take the 3 clues and we answer the question up here. So the question was, what is the Underground Railroad? So what I like to do is I always like to start my answer with like the Underground Railroad was. So the Underground Railroad was, and then you just take your next clue. It was a very secret route. Since it's more proper English, we'll start with the second one. You can usually take whatever clue you guys want. It doesn't have to go 1, 2, 3. So for this sake, we'll just go start with clue number 2. So the Underground Railroad was a very secret route. Just check that one off since we used it. And then we'll put, it was led by Tubman and a Quaker. And then lastly, it led slaves to the free north. So then after that, you get all your 3 clues, and that lead you into your answer. So for this one, what is the Underground Railroad? The Underground Railroad was a secret network that took slaves to the free north, led by Harriet Tubman and a Quaker. So that's what an Infer-O-Graph is just basically you're taking these 3 clues and you're proving them in your answer. So you guys have any questions on that? You guys kind of see how I use like all 3 of the clues and put them in my answer too. That's the big point, because it's like it backs up your answer basically. You guys have any questions on the Infer-O-Graph at all? Pretty simple, straightforward. It's just a box with 4 rows, isn't it? Okay, so now if you guys want to pull out your copy of the Harriet Tubman book, and let's come closer for you guys. We're going to be reading today from pages 3 all the way to page 9 where this big picture is. And then once you guys are done, just let me know. And after that, we'll be running through you guys' own Infer-O-Graph together so we get a better idea. Okay, and also while you guys are reading too, make sure you remember and think about this question right here. How did Harriet Tubman's experience working with her father help her own escape and work on the Underground Railroad? That'll be a big thing to keep in the back of your head as you read those pages. Okay, so now I'm gonna run with this one with you guys. I'm gonna ask you some questions and I'll write it down so you guys have a better basis, because towards the end of the lesson you guys will be doing one of these by yourselves, and I wanna make sure you guys are 100% confident in all of it. So the question for this one is, how did Harriet Tubman's experience working with her father help her own escape and her work for the Underground Railroad? So this is stuff you guys would have found in the pages 3 through 10. while you guys were reading, you guys were thinking about the question, did anybody possibly find a clue they would like to share? That something that Harriet Tubman did that benefited her? Yeah, Amelia?
She carried lots of logs to help her get strong.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. That is a very good one. She helped her dad by carrying a lot of logs, and that made her really strong, which led her and helped her out as she went down the road. And she was something that moved like branches and a lot of stuff like that. Just it wasn't a clear path. So can you say what you said again? She carried logs.
She carried a lot of logs to help her get strong.
Carry logs. I like that one. That's a good clue to start off with. Anybody else do anything that I thought of the question of?
Yeah, she learned directional clues.
Directional clues, yeah, you're right. That is a very important one because, like I said, they got to head north. If they head back like east or west, that might not be the best. So we're going to put for the second clue, learn directional clues. So I'm just following the same thing I did over here, basically going through 1, 2, and 3. And then we need a third one. Did anybody possibly have a third one? I thought.
She learned the ways of the woods.
Yes, she did learn the ways of the woods. Why do you think that's going to be important, Will?
Because she has to lead people to get out of slavery.
Yeah, you're right, and that's all woods, basically. So for the third one, put learned the ways of the woods. So now we have our 3 clues here, and this is the most difficult part, is when we have to combine them all into the inference or your answer. So I'll help you guys out with this one today. So what I'm going to do is just take, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be order like clue 1, 2, or 3, it can be any of the clues. And you just form them into a sentence that answers the question. So for this one, I like to put, like I always do, start with the question. From working with her dad, you guys can write this one down in the draft too, which will be nice and help you go through it all. From working with her dad, Harriet Tubman we'll start with number 1. Got physically strong. She learned the ways of the woods. And directional clues, actually my bad there, that led slaves to the free north via the Underground Railroad. That's kind of a lot there, I'm sorry about that. Alright, so you guys see here, you go from clue 1, clue 2, and clue 3, and they answer our question up here. So how did Harriet Tubman's work experience working with her father help her own escape and work on the Underground Railroad? Just combine these 3 clues into your answer, and we get from working with her dad, Harriet Tubman got physically strong, learned the ways of the woods, and directional clues that helped lead slaves to the free north via the Underground Railroad. You guys have any questions? Because that's the last one I'm going to be running through with you guys. You guys understand the whole parts? What I like to do sometimes to make this easier is break these down into steps. So this would be step 1, would be your question, which a lot of times I'll have the questions on the paper for you guys. Step 2 would be finding your clues. Or step 2, 3, and 4 would be finding your clues. And then the final step, which would be number 5, would be your inference, or another word I put it is your answer. Pretty simple. I use that answer too, because a lot of people get confused when they hear inference, the word. And then after this, if you guys just want to finish reading the book, and while you guys finish reading the last few pages of the book, which aren't very much, with a few pictures on it, some of you guys already read quite a bit, with pages 3 through 9. Just think of this question up here, how did Harriet Tubman help free slaves? And that's going to be your guys' question for your solo Infer-O-Graph. And then once you guys finish, I want you to answer the question by putting clues 1, 2, and 3, and combining the clues into your own inference or your own answer. And then once you guys get that, just raise your hands, and we will be meeting in a small group to discuss answers and stuff. Anybody have any questions on all that stuff? I know it's kind of a lot, but you guys understand the parts of the Infer-O-Graph and everything? Sean?
I got it.
Amelia, any questions?
Oh, I'm good.
Did you guys like the book or no?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Pretty good, yeah. She's a very interesting person. Harriet Tubman helped a lot of people can't remember what the exact numbers were, but I know it was over like 2,500 people, maybe 3,000 slaves. So she did a lot of good work for the Underground Railroad. All right, well, that's it. Yeah, I'll edit it all out because I started playing these things before anyways. Yeah, that was kind of brutal, holy shit.
How old were we?
You guys were